One of the things that boggles the mind is how so many, what we might think rational Western people are, are against Israel in such a crazy way today. To think that Israel should stop even before they get the hostages back. That you could have people in the UN saying the Hamas is not a terrorist organization, but a political organization. It just boggles the mind. How could this be? Well, let me give you a little perspective of where it might come from. Talmud tells a story. Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi had two students learning with him. One was Levi, and one was his son, Rabbi Shimon. They finished studying the portion of the week, and then Levi says, let's continue studying Proverbs. Rabbi Shimon says, no, I want to study Psalms. And he prevailed. And so they brought a book of Psalms, and they read a verse. And the verse says that praise be the person who in the study of Torah he desires. He desires the study of Torah. So Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi, the teacher, said, what this verse is telling us is that a person should always learn in a place that he wants to. In other words, a topic or a place that he has desire to. When Levi heard that, says, "Thank you very much. You've given me permission to leave," because of course he wanted to learn Proverbs. But what this tells us is the following: when we have a desire in something, we learn a lot better. We achieve a lot, which it's very powerful. So it helps us be much more successful in what we're doing. What it also does is, when we have a desire in something, it molds our mind to see the world out of the framework of that desire. So instead of having an objective view and just seeing things as they are, and then based on that making a conclusion, we've already made the conclusion, and now our intellect is meant to confirm the conclusion that we already made. Like I used to have a guy used to say to me, don't confuse me. I've made up my mind already. Don't confuse me with the facts. So what you have is people who have made up their mind, whether it be inherent anti-Semitism, whether it be what they're being told by the media constantly, what they're being shown, and the way things are presented in the media, whether it be a worldview that the of oppressor and oppressed, a worldview where the successful one has to be the wrong one. So if Israel is generally more successful, they must be the guilty party. Where the Torah clearly says, the fact that someone is impoverished doesn't mean in a court case that he's the right guy. He's not right. You have to look at the facts where they are. But unfortunately, our Western way of thinking, or many in the West thinking this way, that the one who is less fortunate must be right. It must be because of the terrible conduct of the one who's more successful. Now, that could be in certain cases, but it doesn't mean across the board that's the way we should see the world. But unfortunately, we have that perspective, or just generally, we have a worldview based on years and years. The people had a view that the only way you can have the settlement in the Middle East is if there's a two-state solution, and therefore everything has to be seen from that prism. And so they're not logical. They don't see things in a logical way, in a sensible way. So we just, knowing this, maybe make us a little bit less frustrated in seeing the sheer ignorance and hatred. And we just have to keep on keeping on, committed to Israel, committed to explaining its ways, and here and there, some people who are open-minded will start seeing the truth. But do not get totally despondent by the fact that we have so many people who seem not to be able to see things as they are.